So on today's TDC Talks, we have Sam here with us, who is the founder of a beautiful lash company, and she also does lash training. So before we dive into everything that you do, Sam, I have a dice here with me, and depending on what number it falls on, you're going to answer the question. So if it falls on number 1, what inspired you to create your brand? If it falls on number 2, what's the story behind your product? If it falls on number 3, what's the best experience you've had so far with your brand? Number 4, the scariest moment you've had while working on your brand. Number 5, your aha moment. Or number 6, your product launch, okay? So let me go ahead and roll the dice. We have number 3. So the best experience you've had so far with your brand.
I think the one that comes to mind, there is a National Association of Lash Artists. You guys probably would never have heard of them, but probably the best experience I've had like within the industry with the brand. They host like a conference and gala every year in Edmonton. And so the first one I went to was last May, and it's like all the big brands. So like people that I got trained from, it's like I was sitting like next to a table of the owner of like the founder of like the biggest lash company in Canada. So that is the one that stands out to me, just being able to like sit in the same room with those people and be like, okay, I'm here. I'm not like at a huge booth in the corner yet, but like I'm working my way there. And actually this year I bought their biggest sponsorship package that they had. And then it had to be canceled due to COVID. So yeah, that's what comes to mind, because there's so many people. There was people from Australia there, like just like lash people from all over the world. And it was like so surreal that I was like sitting in that room, learning from them, talking to them, all that stuff. When, you know, you start in your house with this little small business, and then you have that moment where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm actually like really with them, you know?
Yeah. That's absolutely amazing. Congratulations. That's a huge, huge win to not only, you know, you see your movement of your brand on the daily, but seeing that huge accomplishment and really feeling it, that's just a moment that you're like, yes, all these efforts are paying off. I'm on my way. I'm walking down the road, this road to success that I'm building. So congratulations and props to you. So tell us a little more about your business and what you actually sell.
The business started with me as a lash artist. So my background is business and accounting. At the time, I was working for the government full time and just not happy with what I was doing. And I've kind of like always known that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I just didn't know like what it would look like. At one point, I was like, maybe I'll have my own accounting business. So I like to say lashes chose me. Like I did it as kind of like a side gig, and then I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with making women feel good about themselves. And then as my clientele grew, I was like, wow, there might really be an opportunity for me to like make this my thing. So it started off just with me doing the hands-on work. I started training actually out of my house before we even had a commercial location, because people were naturally coming to me that I was doing their lashes, and they're like, you should teach this. Like you're telling us all these things that we've never heard before when we're getting our lashes done. So yeah, so I have an actual like full service spa that we're kind of known for lashes, but we also do like Botox, filler, spray tanning, teeth whitening, manis, pedis, like all that stuff. But for me, like my passion is in the training side of things, and then the brand. So when I was a lash artist buying products, I felt like it was really hard to find one company where you could get like everything you loved from them. So it was like, hey, maybe they had really good lashes, but they didn't have good glue, or like they didn't have, like I couldn't just order everything from one place. So that was kind of my goal when I started, is to source out really, really high quality products that people could use everything we have and not have to like pick and choose because we only had certain things that were good. So my like goal was to spend as much time as I needed to pick the right products versus just jumping into it. So I spent like a year and a half at least sampling. I went through so many glues, so many lashes, and because I had built such a good clientele, they were all willing to be like our test dummies, which was nice. I would tell them like, hey, I'm using a new glue on you. Like I used ones, I remember this one girl, like within 2 days, all her lashes fell off. But like I told her, I said, I'll redo them for free. Like, I'll take care of you. Don't worry. So I was really lucky in that sense that I had people that trusted me to test stuff on.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so that's kind of, I do have the spa and I have employees there, but my passion is in the products and growing that and the training side of things, because there's so many, you don't really have to be regulated to teach lashes, and there's so many people doing a really bad job at it, and then they're sending these women out into the industry that are getting so frustrated because they weren't trained properly. So that's where my passion lies, is growing the industry and having people know the right things and know how to do things the right way, which is a challenge because there's people kind of just in it to like make a quick buck and not really doing.
Yeah, that's so true. And I think that happens in every industry, but it's amazing that you're really not only doing the product, but you're really tying it also to what your passion is, and that's hands-on training. So if we're talking about your actual product line, what stage would you say that's at? So I think you would be past the startup, but are you like in the scaling? Where would you consider yourself to be right now?
Our product line is pretty well established. So we've been selling it now for like 2 years, but of course there's always new technology. That's the part that's kind of hard to keep on top of. So one example is the pre-made fans that we sell. I don't know if this means like anything to you guys, but there's different options available. So like not a struggle, something I'm looking into right now. That's our top selling product, but there's like new technology coming out that looks a bit differently. So it's like a constant evolution of, do we stick with this because it's working and people love it, or do we look into the new stuff? Do we offer both? So yeah, I would say our product line is pretty well established. Like someone could walk in and do like have everything they need for lashes.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely like my goals moving forward is to scale up. We're still like, we don't have the brand recognition yet that I would love, compared to like, I'm kind of setting my standards at like, okay, who's the top lash company? I want to be up there with them. I'm not like happy with just staying mediocre and like replacing my other income. I want to go big or go home. So that's kind of
Love it.
where I'm at, is I want to just keep growing and growing. And the next thing for us that I was like wanting to do before, but COVID has really pushed me in that direction, is to start doing some advanced training for online for people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of my biggest project right now. Is we're going to launch June 15th, our first ever online course. So June 8th, we've got a webinar that's going to kind of be our lead magnet for that. So that's been like all kind of new for me. I've been doing so much online learning about launches and online courses and all that stuff. So our next kind of big thing is going to be moving some of our training into the online realm, where I'm still very heavily involved in coaching and mentoring those girls. So they still have access to me through like group coaching calls and stuff, which normally doesn't happen with online training, but it's something that I'm super passionate about, to make sure that they have the right training.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Awesome. And then for the actual buying of the lashes of your product and your whole product line, who would be your ideal customer? Is it normally a spa, or would it be each lash tech?
So ideally, like money wise, we would make more money off spas that have like, say, 6 girls doing it, because they're ordering more product.
Mm-hmm.
But there's more people doing lashes out of their home, I would say, than there is in spas. So like the majority of our customers are people doing it out of homes, or like they're just renting a bed somewhere, renting a room, and they have to supply their own products. But part of my goal is to also start expanding, so that we are, I haven't figured out how to do this sales wise, so that we are attracting those spas that will buy like huge orders, because they have so many rotating clients coming in with multiple girls doing lashes. And that's like a part that we tapped into it locally, because people love that they can walk into our store and buy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we have lots of people, say within like an hour of us, that are spas that come to us to buy. But outside of that, that's something that we haven't really capitalized on yet.
Awesome. So tell me, where are the most clients coming? So you say at the moment, if you say your big chunk of clients, are they coming in person? Is like face-to-face interactions, or are they coming due to social media? Or what's the current stage of your clients?
No, I would say most of our clients have found us either on Instagram or through, like, we just started getting into Facebook ads this year. And like really, like, I finally realized that I wasn't doing very well at that. So I have someone that manages our Facebook ads now. So that has made a big change in things. But the majority of our clients are from Ontario and BC, like in Canada. Those are our two biggest provinces that we sell to. And then we still do have quite a bit of business from the States. Like we've done orders to France, to Australia. So we are getting some international orders, but we haven't. I would like that to kind of expand even further as well. But we definitely are getting recognition from people finding us on Instagram that are from like other parts of the world, which is amazing.
Awesome. So now we're going to go to the part of the actual strategy and the hands-on advice we have for you to how to actually implement the product launch you're doing for your course and your training. That's big for you at the moment because that's an evergreen source of income for your business. You're going to be running that to countless of people around the world. So you have a way to actually use that and propel your current business model and use that as a marketing capability. So that's one of the big things I'm seeing here, that you have that and it's already done. You already recorded and marketed and did the landing page and all of that, right?
Everything is good to go? Like literally just in the middle of that. Like I was working on my ClickFunnels this morning. So within the next few days that will be ready to go. And then the first webinar is set to be June 8th. And then our launch is a week after that. So it's rolling pretty quickly.
Awesome. So you are in a good mindset because you understand the current stage of the market at the moment. You can see that digital is actually the best way at the moment to drive the customers and bring them to your space and to your business. And the best way that you are doing it right, you're actually paying a Facebook ads expert to be able to run and get the voice out. However, I see that you have that set at the moment, but now I see that maybe how are you in your personal brand aspect and how are you looking into the organic growth of your accounts at the moment? Are you moving the accounts? What are you doing to be able to propel and not only depend on pay media, on paying Facebook, Instagram, and all other platforms?
Yeah, so that is something that I have definitely struggled with. I've done a lot of courses, so I feel like I have a better understanding now of kind of proper branding and like copywriting and stuff like that, but I made so many mistakes at the beginning. I feel like I'm trying to get caught up. So one example is I paid for followers early on. Not a lot, but enough that I'm trying to go through and like remove any followers that I know aren't like ideal customers or specific to our brand. But that is one thing I'm really struggling with is keeping up with and being consistent on Instagram. So I try and post at least once a day on like our corporate Instagram, but then I also have like my own personal brand that I'm trying to figure that out because eventually I think I'll lean into coaching a lot more than I am now. And then we also have a separate Instagram for the spa services because people were getting confused, like, do you sell products or do you do services? So we separated that. Even though it's one corporation, we have two Instagrams. So I feel like I have 3 Instagrams to keep up with, and then developing the courses, and like I'm having trouble keeping up. And so I'm trying to figure out what to hire out. Tried a few different people for doing Instagram content, and I just have not found anyone I'm in love with. I just like, I keep trying to like delegate that, and I cannot let go of that because I haven't found anybody that I'm like jive with.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what I see here is that you're in a good stage. You're well on your way. However, there is a point that you're going to find and be overwhelmed a little bit. So you see that you're managing 3 different accounts. You're like thinking about actually being CEO of your own corporation. You are managing people in person. So you have a lot on your plate at the moment, which is okay because you're busy, but maybe you are more of the face of the business. You're the CEO. So you are on top of many little tasks you are actually doing. So my advice is first, your personal brand is what's going to propel your business from the start, okay? So if you have to ask me, okay, I have 10 hours per week to be able to put into social media, our advice is to be able to take 5 hours from 10 and be able to create long form content to be able to repurpose that into the 3 different social media accounts you have. So what I mean by this is that, okay, separate 1 hour of your time and sit down with industry professionals and speak about your industry on a podcast. You put a camera rolling and you get the content for 1 full hour. Then you do micro content, you go to fiverr.com and you repurpose that and create micro clips of 1 minute, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. And then you start posting that depending of the audience and depending of the topic. So if you are talking on the podcast about spa services, massages, mani, pedis, and all of that, you can use that in the spa account with a different branding. You can change the lettering, the colors, and all of that. If you're talking about your educational and training programs, you can use that inside your coaching page, for example. So you can repurpose and use the content and you don't have to work double. Because if you start thinking about creating content for each platform, there is a point you're gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm there. And then I get like blocked, so I just then don't post for like 3 days because I'm like, rah, like it is very overwhelming.
Exactly. And we speak with business owners every single day, and they all feel like you. You don't feel like it's literally everyone is overwhelmed because they feel the pressure of being posting, because they listen from other people like, you need to be on social media, you need to be post, push. But everything is from organization. So if you organize your time and use micro content to propel whatever you're trying to do, is so much easier, okay? So the idea here is that in one single week, separate 2-3 hours and sit down with 3 industry professionals like we're doing with you. So we're using this podcast and we're going to reuse it on our agency account for, our personal brands. So we have different streams. You see what I mean? We have our business, we have our personal brands, and we even have a podcast, YouTube channel. So we have so many streams and we only need to sit down for 1 hour with you. So we're not going crazy. And then we take this piece of content and we send it to our team, and our team takes care of the editing, the chopping, and all of that. Then everything comes together when you do the programming. So when you are going into Buffer, Sketch Social, and start programming all the posts, so you don't need to be posting manually. So everything is automated. So you're not all on top of things. So you actually manage your business, and you're not like, oh my God, I have to post today.
Yeah, I have to post. I have to think of a caption. I have to interact, because remember, Instagram and any social media isn't just about posting it out there. You have to literally be there for at least 1 hour providing customer support to the people that are coming through comments, through your DMs, because that's literally your storefront. It's that digital platform. So instead of wasting that daily time, okay, what should I post now? What picture should I use? All those little things that take up so much time and that leave you drained and that end up pushing all this stuff backwards, that time you're going to spend interacting, engaging, and I promise you're going to see an increase in all 3 of the accounts that you manage.
And it's awesome because you are in the right mindset at the moment. You understand the importance of social media and the importance of having a personal brand in order to push your training, your course, your webinar, and all of that. But now that you understand what needs to be done, you need a game plan to be able to actually do it and not be going crazy about it. So the best thing is get organized. Just separate 24 hours in a week and just get organized and start planning ahead. Okay, every single week I'm gonna sit down with one person. From that video and audio, I'm gonna publish a full version of my audio on Anchor, and then the video I'm gonna post it on YouTube, and then I'm gonna transcribe it and do a blog in my website, and then from that I'm gonna crop micro content and post it 1 minute 30 seconds on my Instagram account, and then repurpose the content depending of the audience I'm talking about. So you see, you only did it once, and one editor is gonna do everything else. So it's so much easier for you to be able to do other things, to manage people, to actually grow your business, okay?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Yeah, of course.
When you say like cut it into smaller clips for Instagram, do you mean that you would like post smaller video clips or like have slides with that, or like, can you just kind of elaborate on that a little bit?
Sure. So you need to think about the platform that you're using, okay? Instagram is short form content. So people actually won't watch a video more than 1 minute or 2 minutes, okay? So what you have to do is actually repurpose and cut the version. We have different formats that you can use. We can share that after the talk. You can actually find the peak moments of the podcast you're doing And okay, this is actually a lot, we're providing a lot of value. We're teaching how to actually do it, what not to do. So people will find this and actually repost this, because this is what you're looking for. You're trying to get a video viral. You're trying to get really like everywhere the video. So the way you do it is by taking the best moments of the conversation and reuse it on Instagram and Facebook, okay? And also for your ads, that's ads materials. So when you're trying to speak on your podcast, you can use that with your Facebook Ads Manager that you have at the moment. You can test that as an ad. So you have actually new ads coming up every single day, and you don't have to be sitting down just recording an ad. You know what I mean? You already have the content. So you only sit down once, but you need to be doing it constantly, at least once a week, and you have new content coming every single week. Okay? Any more questions about that?
We're talking about talking to other people in the industry. So one thing on my to-do list is to start a podcast related to lashes, because I feel like I have so much education in the industry. I also have the business background that a lot of people are missing. So after this course that I'm launching, the next one is going to be like starting a lash business or beauty business and all the like trademarking and all that stuff that comes along with it. But I'm struggling with, do I do these course launches and then plan to do a podcast like 6 months down the road? But from what I'm hearing you guys say, it might actually be beneficial for me to kind of get on that sooner than later, because then I can use that to help propel the other stuff forward, even though in my head it feels like a lot of work hearing you guys say it like that. I'm like, okay, like I've literally already bought all the
funnels and all
everything I need. I've gotten like the microphone and like all that stuff that I need for podcasting. I just kind of put it on the back burner to do these courses. So do you guys think that that's something I should like kind of jump on to help me with the other parts of my business?
So this is what happens. You'll see that when you do your course, your training, you launch and you have everything ready. Imagine that day you're ready, good to go. So now you have to tell your Facebook Ads Manager, okay, now put $5,000 on ads to be able to sell, let's say $6,000. So you invested $5,000 on Facebook ads because you don't have an actual following at the moment. So this is what happens. If you start building your audience, your personal brand, your YouTube channel, your podcast, you don't have to spend that much money on Facebook ads, because the audience that you already have is going to propel your training, your course, and all of that. So I'm not saying that Facebook ads is not necessary, it's super necessary, but it cannot be the only stream of revenue that you have when you depend on selling your course and all of that. And even more if you are starting out, that you don't have a ton of budget to invest on Facebook ads and you're waiting for the return on investment right away. Because as you know, Facebook ads is not like black and white. So you need to be optimizing, sometimes goes down, sometimes goes up. So if you depend and you rely on that solely, it's gonna be super conflicting to be able to launch your training. So our recommendation is do both and be also trying to, because this one takes time, but it's more quality. Because when you own an audience, when you own a follower, for real, it's gonna be a long-term relationship. Because you can say, listen, I have a new product, they're gonna buy it. If it's a training, a lash, or whatever you're trying to do, or a live event, they can buy it from you because they trust you. So that's something that you need to work on. It's not something that happens right now, like right away. But your personal brand is something that you need to be moving if you really want to get into the coaching part, the trainings, the webinars, and all of that. It's super profitable, yes, but it takes efforts and everything that we said. But any more questions regarding that, or?
I have one other question that came to mind. So when you say about transcribing like a conversation like this, is that something you guys do yourself, or you send that off to somebody to do that?
So we send that off, and that's totally up to you. And from what I'm listening, I would totally recommend that you start building your team and actually hire people. So one way to do it is find people on Fiverr, which is freelancers, and this is low cost. But you can also start hiring people that an agency that you're working with, a person that you're really partnering with that understands your business model, and they'll do everything for you. So you can have an editor, you can have somebody who's actually changing all that into podcast form, into blog form, into posts, into captions, into quotes. all that for you.
It's like having a game plan. So once you draw your business plan, like, listen, I stand for this is my product, this is the journey I want to take. The same thing goes with your personal brand and your business when you're going into social and this kind of business type, So the idea here is that you draw your game plan. Okay, I'm gonna do one podcast a week. Whatever happens, one podcast is going out. I'm gonna do one post per day. I'm gonna do one blog per week. So after you have your game plan, okay, now you put your pieces together. I need an editor. I need a video guy. I need someone that does my
Creating
podcast.
content, yeah.
So after you have the team and you see, okay, this is like $50 per episode. This one is $150. This one, then you have, okay, it's gonna cost me to run my brand without me doing the things, because you don't want that. You don't want to be on top of that because you have so many things going on. You have a business, you have everything. So draw your game plan, your strategy, and then find the people that's gonna help you propel this project that you have, okay? You have many choices, but if our recommendation, if your budget is less than 1,000 to 1,500, the best route for you is to look for Fiverr freelancers. However, there is a benefit when you cross that part, that you find a team that everything is going on in one single roof. You know what I mean? You have a team that does the copywriting, you have the Facebook app people, you have the video people, everyone is working in sync, because when you have different freelancers, everyone is a mess. It's a little bit of a mess. But when you have one single team working for a single goal, it's so much easier. So when you pass the 1,500 mark, think about an agency that can handle the whole project of your personal brand and the business, so you see everything as a whole. So you send the plan out. Listen, I'm gonna be the face of the business, but I need someone to be able to edit, transcribe, post, do customer service. I need someone that does everything for me because I don't have time for this. I'm only gonna send you like videos and photos. That's it. You're gonna do the rest. Exactly. But that, you're freeing time, but that's gonna cost money, obviously, with an agency. But right now, what you can do is freelance and do Fiverr, okay? That's the best advice we can give, yeah.
So you were saying 1,500. What was that referring to?
So let's say that you find a video editor that crops your podcast episode, okay? And that's gonna cost you like $70 to $150 to make the format right, put the subtitles, the titles, on top. That's gonna be like a charge. Then you need someone that does the podcasting editing. That's gonna be like $70 or $50. Then you're gonna need someone that transcribes the podcast with the program and then edit and post it on your website. That's gonna be like $40. So you start adding all the costs, and you're gonna be like, okay, to run the brand, the personal brand, and to run the business brand, it's gonna cost me around 1,500. But you have like 30 people working on it. You need to be speaking with one-on-one, and then you're gonna need a manager. You're gonna be like, okay, well, this is a little bit overwhelming, but after some efforts, then you can jump and find an agency that does everything for you, because they have the team, they speak one-on-one, and then you only speak with the manager, the account manager, and it's easier for you to transmit that to the business. So that's the piece of advice. Depending on the budget you have, that's what we recommend. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good. I would love more information from you guys about kind of how that all works.
Awesome, yeah.
Awesome, Sam. So thank you so much for your time. It was great getting to know a little more about not only you, but your brand. If anybody listening wants to find you, tell us where we can find you on social media and your website.
So our Instagram is at boutique.canada. So it's BEAUTIQUE.Canada. And then our website is www.boutiquecanada.com.
Awesome. Perfect. And that'll also be down in the description for anybody listening on YouTube, watching on YouTube, or listening on any podcasting app. You can just scroll down and you'll see all those links. Thank you so much for your time, Sam.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.